The Detroit Pistons in 2026 were not just favorites, they were a foregone conclusion for the championship. Their front office had orchestrated a masterclass, pulling in every coveted trade target to assemble a super team that analysts, from Paris basketball to ESPN, were already hailing as one of the greatest rosters ever constructed. They had crushed the competition all season, a relentless machine steamrolling every opponent with a terrifying efficiency. It wasn't just wins, it was a statement. The kind of dominance that made rivals like the college football archenemies seem quaint by comparison. The world watched, not to see if they'd win, but by how much and how many records they'd shatter along the way. This was meant to be their year, a coronation parade from start to finish, etched into history as undisputed champions. But then there was Elias Vance, a quiet guard drafted 2 years prior, who had spent his rookie season mostly on the bench, a footnote. He wasn't one of the top 10 best NBA players 2026 lists. In fact, he barely made the rotation initially. But something shifted in his second year. He started earning minutes, then becoming a critical role player, an unshakable presence off the bench. He saw things on the court no one else did, an uncanny ability to read plays before they happened, often rescuing broken possessions or initiating a crucial run. You could feel the subtle change in the team's dynamic whenever he stepped onto the court, a quiet confidence that spread through the roster. It was the final game of the conference finals against a valiant but outmatched opponent. The score was tight, closer than anyone predicted. The Pistons, for once, looked vulnerable. The tension in the arena was palpable, a stark contrast to the usual swagger of their dominant season. With seconds left on the clock, down by 1 point, the ball was inbounded. The play was designed for their star forward, a guaranteed bucket from a player who had delivered countless times. Everyone knew it, the opponents knew it, even the crowd was leaning forward, anticipating the inevitable. But the ball didn't go to the star. It went to Elias Vance at the top of the key. He had a clear look, a decent shot for him, but not the designated play. The coach was screaming from the sidelines, a mixture of disbelief and fury etched on his face. This was not the plan. Vance took a dribble, paused, and then, inexplicably, passed it. Not to another Piston, but a soft, floating pass that sailed directly out of bounds as the clock expired. The buzzer blared, a guttural sound that echoed through the stunned silence. They had lost. The championship dream, the guaranteed win, was gone. Just like that. The aftermath was chaos. The locker room was a scene of disbelief, anger, and utter devastation. Fans were rioting online. The sports media was in a frenzy, asking how could he and why. The league launched an immediate investigation. There were whispers of gambling, of a rival team offering an astronomical sum, even international intrigue, especially with headlines like Iran's attack on Kuwait airport, reminding everyone of the larger, darker world beyond the court. What could drive a player to make such a public, devastating choice? The team's ambitious plan to win the summer shattered in one bewildering moment. Days later, Vance issued a cryptic statement. Some things are bigger than a championship. He vanished from the public eye, his career effectively over, his name synonymous with the most inexplicable sporting betrayal in recent memory. The Pistons never recovered that season. The next year, the Nationals decided their trade deadline plan needed a new wrinkle, more big league help. They learned from the Pistons' downfall, perhaps. Vance's action wasn't about winning or losing on the scoreboard. It was about exposing a perceived flaw, a deeper injustice within the system itself. What he saw as a moral stand, the world saw as foul play.
It begs the question, how far is too far for an individual to challenge a system they believe is broken?
And if you found yourself in a position where you could sacrifice your own glory for a perceived greater good, even if that good wasn't immediately clear to anyone else, would you take it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're intrigued by these deep dives into the murky ethics of sport, consider subscribing to Foul Play. We explore the decisions that change everything, on and off the court.